My daughter raised her glass and called me the expired relative. The family laughed. She didn't blink. By dessert, her eviction notice was tucked under her lemon tart. The home she mocked? Legally mine. I spent a lifetime as her mother, quiet, forgiving. That night, I became something else. Untouchable. All right, before we dive into this crazy story, do me a favor. Subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. The sun sinks low, spilling amber light over the backyard as the grill hisses, sending tendrils of smoke curling toward the sky. The sweet smell of barbecue mingles with the faint buzz of cicadas in the air. Family members chat in clusters, their voices rising and falling like waves against the steady hum of the evening. But despite the festive scene, a tension lingers, palpable as the weight of the air itself. It's the kind of tension that sits just under your skin, impossible to shake off, like an itch you can't quite reach. And then Emily stands. She's always been the one who knows how to command attention. She raises her glass, a mischievous smile tugging at her lips, eyes sparkling with that self-satisfied gleam she wears like armor. The crowd quiets, waiting for the punchline, the joke that she always delivers. "To the expired relative," she says, her voice ringing out clear, too sharp in the sudden silence. My stomach drops. The words hit like a slap, the kind that echoes through every inch of the room. The laughter that follows is quick, too hollow, not quite right. I try to breathe, but the air feels heavier, each second stretching longer. Her smile stays on her face a moment too long. It's not funny, not in the way she thinks. I grip my glass, my fingers cold against the sides. I can feel the burn of my throat, the tightness in my chest. This isn't a joke. Not to me. The room quiets just for a beat before Emily picks up the rhythm again, laughing too loudly, her gaze flicking to me as if daring me to react. She knows what she's doing. She always does. I raise my glass, my motion too stiff, the smile too tight. "To new beginnings," I say, forcing the words out. Her eyes narrow, and for a second, I think I see something flicker there, something that looks almost like doubt. But the moment passes, and she laughs again. It's as if she's already moved on, already forgotten what she's done. But I haven't. The evening stretches on, the conversation around me blending into a murmur I can barely hear. I'm not part of it anymore. Not after that toast. I watch the family, their faces warm in the evening light. The chatter continues, but I feel like an outsider. Emily's words are still fresh, hanging in the air between us, and I'm tired of pretending they don't hurt. My hand moves instinctively to my pocket. The letter is there, folded, crisp, waiting. I stand. It's a deliberate motion, one I've practiced in my mind 1,000 times. I walk toward the table, each step firm. The laughter continues behind me, but I don't care. I slide the letter across the table, the paper making a soft, deliberate sound as it lands between us. It feels heavier than I expected, like it carries the weight of every unspoken thing. Emily's smile falters, her eyes flickering down to the letter, then back to me. For a moment she hesitates, as if pretending she doesn't understand. But she knows. She knows exactly what this is. She reaches for the letter, her fingers shaking ever so slightly as she lifts it. Her grip is tight, and I can see her trying to control the fear that creeps into her eyes. She meets my gaze again. But this time, there's no smugness, no playful challenge, only coldness. And something else. Something more dangerous. I don't speak. I don't need to. This isn't about the toast anymore. This is about taking back what's mine. And Emily is about to find out that I've had enough. The silence between us is suffocating. Emily's eyes burn with anger as she stares down at the letter, her fingers gripping the edges tightly. She doesn't speak, but the fury in her gaze says everything. The rest of the family laughs, unaware, their voices a dull hum in the background. Emily's wrath is palpable, her rage practically crackling in the air. I can feel Robert shift next to me, his discomfort radiating, but he doesn't know what to say. He never does. He knows better than anyone the tension between Emily and me, but he's too afraid to pick a side, too afraid to step into the middle of this storm. I stay still, my hand clenched around my glass, my heart pounding as Emily stands suddenly, pushing her chair back with a sharp scrape. The laughter from the others continues, but I don't hear it anymore. All I hear is the thud of my own heartbeat, the sharp breath in my chest. "You're making a mistake," Emily says, her voice thick with venom as she glares at me. She doesn't raise her voice, doesn't shout, but her words slice through the air like a blade. "This isn't over." She storms off, her heels clicking sharply against the wood of the deck as she disappears into the house. The words she leaves behind hang in the air, sharp and poisonous, a challenge I know she's too scared to follow through on. The family remains oblivious, the hum of conversation carrying on around me, but the world feels far away now. I stay where I am, staring after Emily, fighting the flood of emotions welling up inside me. The hurt is sharp, the sting of her betrayal cutting deeper than I expected. I take a deep breath, trying to hold myself together, but the resentment builds inside me. I can't keep pretending this doesn't bother me. I can't keep swallowing my anger, keeping my mouth shut while she insults me, makes a fool of me in front of everyone. The cookout continues to wind down around me. People gathering their things, light chatter, a few goodbyes. But I'm not part of it anymore. Not after what Emily said. Not after the way she treated me. I look around at the family, their faces warm in the fading light. I've let her walk all over me for too long. The time for silence is over. I won't be her punching bag anymore. My hand instinctively reaches for my phone. I know what I need to do. I'm done being her victim. This isn't just about the toast anymore, it's everything. The years of insults, the years of her making me feel less than. I don't hesitate. My fingers move quickly over the screen. "We need to talk tomorrow. I have something important to say." The words are simple, but they carry the weight of everything I've been holding in. I send the message before I can second-guess myself, staring at the screen as the little delivered icon appears. I feel the weight of my decision. I'm taking control now. No more being quiet. No more pretending it's okay. I look toward the house again, knowing Emily's inside, probably fuming, probably planning her next move. But I don't care anymore. I've made up my mind. Tomorrow, I'll make sure she knows I've had enough. The air is thick with tension when Emily walks through the door the next day. Her face is tight with anger, her jaw clenched, as if she's preparing for a fight. She doesn't even look at me. Just at the table where the letter sits, a simple sheet of paper that holds everything I've been afraid to face. "You sent me a message," she says, her voice cold and sharp. Her eyes flicker to the letter. I can feel the shift in the room, the quiet before the storm. I don't speak. I stay still, my hands gripping the edge of the table, steadying myself for what's coming. She walks over, grabs the letter, and her fingers tremble slightly as she unfolds it. She reads it quickly, but when she does, her face goes from shock to fury, her eyes widening. "You can't be serious," Emily says, her voice cracking just a little. "Over rent?" I take a deep breath, letting the weight of the moment settle in. This is it. "It's not just about rent, Emily," I say calmly, my voice low but unwavering. "It's about respect. You've taken advantage of me for too long." Her lips press into a tight line as she tries to fight the anger rising in her. "This is my home too, Mom," she says, her voice rising with indignation. "You can't just throw me out over a few missed payments." I stay firm, letting her words slide off me like water. "It's not just a few missed payments, it's years of broken promises. Years of you saying you'll change and nothing ever changing. You've manipulated me, used me when it's convenient for you. I can't keep doing this." I feel a brief flicker of guilt, of that old, familiar pull, but I swallow it down. This isn't about being fair anymore. It's about standing up for myself. Emily's fingers grip the letter tighter, crumpling it slightly in her hands. "You think you can just do this and walk away?" she spits. "You think this is the solution to everything? You're just going to kick me out like that?" I nod slowly. "Yes, Emily, I've thought about this for months. You've pushed me to the edge, and I'm done being your punching bag." She steps back, her eyes blazing with fury. For a moment I almost expect her to scream, to throw something at me. But she doesn't. Instead, she opens her mouth to speak again, but nothing comes out. She's losing control. I stand tall, letting my words sink in. "I'm not doing this for me anymore. This is for my dignity. You don't get to walk all over me anymore." Her face changes then, the anger momentarily replaced by something else, a flicker of vulnerability, of fear. But she's quick to cover it up, the wall coming back up just as fast. "You don't know what you're doing, Mom," Emily growls, her voice full of venom. I feel the sting of those words, but I don't back down. "I know exactly what I'm doing," I say, my voice steady, calm. "I'm finally taking control. You've taken advantage of my kindness for too long, and I won't let you do it anymore." The room is quiet except for the heavy breathing between us, the air thick with tension. Emily stares at me, her face twisted with disbelief and anger. Her hands shake as she looks at the eviction notice in her hand, but she doesn't crumple it. She just stands there, trembling, as if waiting for me to change my mind. But I won't. This is my decision, and I'm standing firm. As she opens her mouth to argue again, I know I'm not going to hear anything I haven't already heard. The same excuses, the same promises. She's already said everything she can. She knows it, and I know it. The weight of my decision settles deep in my chest. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, but I'm not going to regret it. "You don't get to manipulate me anymore," I say, my voice quieter now, but resolute. "I've given you enough chances, Emily. This is the last one." Emily's face flushes with rage again, but she can't seem to find the words to match it. For once, she's speechless. And for once, I feel like I've won. Her next words come through clenched teeth, her voice thick with fury. "You don't know what you're doing, Mom." The words hit like a slap, but I don't flinch. I've done what I needed to do. The sound of Emily's footsteps fading into the distance leaves a strange silence in the house. The door slams behind her, the final punctuation to our heated exchange. I stand there, the weight of the moment pressing down on me. The eviction notice still rests on the table between us, a piece of paper that symbolizes everything I've kept bottled up for so long. But it's too quiet now. The weight of the silence feels heavier than any of the words that had been spoken. I sink into a chair, my hands shaking as I stare at the letter. The memories flooding back with brutal clarity. The years of giving, of putting Emily's needs first while my own were ignored, all the times I stayed quiet when I should have spoken up, when I should have set boundaries. I sacrificed so much of myself just to keep the peace, to make sure everyone else was okay. But I've been the one left behind, over and over again. I close my eyes, trying to breathe through the pain of it. The years of her broken promises, the lies, the manipulation. I've been carrying this weight for so long, but today something has shifted. The scales have finally tipped, and I can't ignore it any longer. A soft knock at the door pulls me out of my thoughts. I know who it is before I even open it. Robert. He stands in the doorway, his brow furrowed with concern, his eyes darting toward the door where Emily just stormed out. "What happened?" he asks gently, stepping inside. I heard yelling. I don't know where to start. How do I explain everything to him when I've barely started to understand it myself? I take a deep breath, steadying myself. "She's gone," I say quietly. "I've had enough." Robert looks at me, confused. "Enough of what?" I stand, pacing, trying to find the words. This has been building for years, Robert. I've been letting her use me, manipulate me, always putting her needs first while mine were ignored. She's never changed, and I've let it happen. Robert steps closer, his face softening with concern. I understand it's been hard, but why now? Why kick her out over a few missed payments? I feel a wave of frustration rising, but I swallow it. This isn't just about the money. It's not just about that. It's everything. She takes, and I'm always the one left to clean up the mess. I've tried so hard to be the good mother, but she's never learned to respect me. She's used me, Robert, for years. I can see the confusion in his eyes, but he doesn't interrupt. He's trying to process it, trying to understand, but it's clear he doesn't fully grasp the weight of what I'm saying. The guilt twists in my chest, but I push it down. This isn't just a bad day. I continue, my voice steadier now. This is a pattern. Every time I think she's going to change, she doesn't. I'm done being walked all over. She needs to understand that I'm not going to keep giving and getting nothing in return. I feel a lump in my throat as I say the words. The truth is, this is the hardest decision I've ever made. I never wanted to be the mother who turned her back on her child, but I've given so much of myself, and it's never been enough. Robert steps back, his expression softening, but there's still hesitation in his eyes. I just don't know if this is the way, but I understand how hurt you are. I nod, swallowing hard. The guilt tries to creep in again, but this time I fight it. I've done enough for her. This is my life too, and I can't keep sacrificing my peace just to keep her happy. Something has to change, I say quietly. I'm not going to be her doormat anymore. She has to learn to respect me. And I've finally realized that I have to be the one to show her. Robert looks at me for a long moment, uncertainty still in his eyes, but he doesn't argue. He doesn't have all the answers, and neither do I, but for the first time in a long time, I know I'm doing the right thing. Gee, I'm done being silent, I add, the words ringing with finality. I'm not going to hide behind my own guilt anymore. It's time for her to learn. The decision has been made. I've taken the first step, and there's no going back now. When Emily comes back, I know the showdown is inevitable. There's a shift in the air the moment she steps through the door. No warmth, no apology, just raw fury and disbelief. Her eyes flash as she storms into the room, her presence charging the space with an energy I can feel in my bones. "You've got to be kidding me!" she spits, her voice cracking as she stands just a few feet away. "How could you do this to me, after everything I've done for you?" The words hang there, heavy with years of resentment, but I don't flinch. Not this time. I hold my ground, my body stiff with the weight of the years that led to this moment. "This isn't about everything you've done," I say, my voice steady, my gaze unflinching. "It's about everything you've taken." The words land like a slap, but Emily doesn't retreat. Instead, she steps forward, eyes blazing, her mouth twisting in a sneer of disbelief. "Taken? You think I've taken from you? I've given everything to you, Mom. You have no idea what I've sacrificed for you." Her words echo the same tired narrative she's always used. Guilt, blame, the same manipulative dance she's done for years. It's a script I know all too well. I've played the role of the apologetic mother, the one who bears the brunt of it all, too afraid to speak up, too afraid to lose her. But not anymore. I stand taller now, my chest lifting with the force of something I've kept buried for too long. "No, Emily, you haven't given anything. You've used me, and I've let you. But not anymore." Her face twists as if the words themselves cut deeper than she expected. She opens her mouth to say something, but I hold up my hand, silencing her. "I'm done being your fallback," I continue, my voice calm but firm. "Done being the one you turn to only when it's convenient for you. The one you use when you need something and throw aside when you're done." Emily's lips tremble, her anger shifting into something more dangerous. Hurt, guilt, is coming. I can feel it, thick in the air between us. "You're abandoning me," she says, her voice rising again, the manipulation thick in her tone. "I've always tried. I've always been here for you, but you just push me away. You make it so hard for me to help you." I hear it now, the baiting, the reversal of blame. This is the same accusation she's used before, dressed in different words, but the intent is clear. It's her usual play, the guilt trip, the twisting of the truth. But this time, I don't bite. I stay calm, unfazed. "I didn't make it hard for you to help me, Emily. You made it hard for me to trust you. You've only ever helped when it suited you, when it was convenient. And when I needed something, anything from you, where were you?" The silence that follows is thick, pressing in on both of us. Her anger is still there, but it's mixed now with something else. Fear, maybe. Regret. She knows she's lost control of the situation, and she doesn't know how to get it back. "You're just going to walk away?" she asks, her voice a low growl now, filled with venom. "After everything? You're going to leave me with nothing? After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me?" I could let her guilt me again. I could apologize and take it all back, pretend this isn't the truth. But I don't. Not this time. I've already let her play this game for too long. This is the last time you'll use me, Emily, I say, my voice steady. I'm not your safety net anymore. I've given you everything I have and I can't give you any more. She stands there, her breath coming fast, her chest heaving with the effort of keeping herself together. For a moment, I almost think she might break, but then her eyes narrow and I know she's not done yet. You'll regret this, Mom, she says, her voice a cold whisper. Her words hang in the air, a final threat, a warning that she's not finished. And just like that, she turns and storms out, slamming the door behind her with a force that shakes the walls. I stand in the silence again, the words still hanging in the air, and the weight of her threat pressing down on me. But it's different now. I've said what I needed to say, and for the first time in years, I feel like I've reclaimed something that's been mine all along. The morning after Emily stormed out, the house feels heavier than ever. The silence hangs thick in the air, as if the walls themselves are waiting for something to break. I sit at the kitchen table, my mind replaying every word we exchanged, every moment of that confrontation. My hands still shake slightly as I wrap them around my coffee mug, the warmth grounding me, but it's not enough to ease the storm inside me. And then, the knock comes. I freeze, my it skipping a beat. Who could it be? I don't want to face anyone right now, especially not Emily. But the knock comes again, this time more insistent. I stand up, my legs unsteady, and walk to the door, my breath catching in my throat. When I open it, I find a letter on the doorstep, an envelope marked with Emily's handwriting. For a moment, I just stare at it, my chest tightening. My first instinct is to throw it away, to pretend it's not there, but something stops me. Maybe it's the same part of me that always held out hope, that maybe, just maybe, she'd change. I kneel down and pick it up, turning it over in my hands. The weight of it feels different from the eviction notice. This isn't an ultimatum, this is an apology. Or at least, it seems like one. My heart skips a beat as I tear open the envelope and pull out the letter, my eyes scanning the first few lines. Her words are softer this time. Apologetic. Regretful even. She admits she's been wrong. She says she's sorry for everything she's put me through, and how she's treated me, and asks for my forgiveness. She even admits to the struggles she's faced, the things she's been battling on her own. The letter feels sincere almost. I can hear her voice in every word, genuine at first glance, but a part of me, the part that's been burned too many times, feels something colder stirring inside me. Is this real? Or is it just another manipulation? I read through it again, my eyes narrowing with every line. She paints herself as the victim, as always. The blame for everything that's gone wrong seems to fall on me, on my lack of understanding. But there are glimmers of self-awareness too. She admits she's wrong, that she's hurt me, but it doesn't feel like enough. The damage has been done. I've spent years forgiving her, pretending things would change, hoping each apology would be the last, hoping this time would be different. But it never was. I sit back in my chair, the letter still in my hands, feeling the weight of it like a stone. For a second, the guilt tugs at me, the familiar voice in my head that says, maybe you're being too harsh, maybe you're giving up too easily. But I know better now. I've let her have the power for too long, let her use my love as a weapon. I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and make a decision. I stand up, walk over to the trash can, and without a second thought, tear the letter in half. Then in half again. The pieces flutter to the floor, and I feel a strange sense of relief, as though I've just shed some old skin. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep opening myself up to more of the same. The phone rings, cutting through the silence like a sharp blade. My heart jumps again, and I know it's her before I even check the caller ID. I let it ring, the weight of her call pressing down on me, but it doesn't stop ringing. It keeps going, relentless. I finally answer it, my thumb trembling as I swipe to pick up. Mom, Emily's voice breaks through, tentative and soft. I know I messed up. I know you probably hate me right now, but please just give me one more chance. I can change. I'll make it right. I swear her words are full of that old desperation, the same tone she's used 1,000 times before. She sounds sincere, but I don't know if I can believe it anymore. I don't know if I can trust you, Emily, I say, my voice quieter than I expect. I've given you so many chances. Too many. There's a silence on the other end, thick and heavy. And then I hear her voice crack, just a little. You'll regret this, Mom, she whispers, the words coming out like a final warning. I swallow hard, the weight of it sinking deep into my chest. And I wonder, will I? The phone rings again, pulling me out of my thoughts. This time it's Robert. His name flashes on the screen, but the instant I see it, I know this conversation will be different. The pit in my stomach tightens, and I hesitate before answering, bracing myself for the inevitable. Mom. Robert's voice comes through, strained, tighter than I've ever heard it before. You've gone too far. You're pushing her away? I sit down on the edge of the couch, the words landing like a punch. What are you talking about? I reply, trying to keep my voice steady, though the hurt creeps in, the frustration bubbling under the surface. I've had enough, Robert. She's manipulated me for years. I've given everything I've had. You don't get it, do you? His words hit harder than I expected, his frustration clear. Emily's my sister, Mom. She's hurting. She's trying to fix things. And you just throw her away. The accusation stings. I flinch, but I try not to let it show. Robert, this isn't about throwing her away. It's about protecting myself. She's used me, and I can't keep letting her. I've given her too many chances. There's silence on the other end, and I can feel the tension building. I don't want to fight with him. Not now. But Robert's hurt, too. Hurt. Because he can't understand how I can push Emily away. Hurt because he sees me as the villain in this story, just like she does. You're giving up on her, Mom, he finally says, his voice low, but filled with sharp conviction. I don't know how you can just let her go like that. I close my eyes, rubbing my temple as the weight of his words presses against my chest. I'm not giving up, Robert. I'm finally standing up for myself. You don't understand how hard this is for me, how long I've tried to fix things. She's crossed a line this time. I can't go back. Robert's voice cracks as he speaks again. I can't believe you'd do this. You've always been the one who takes care of everyone, always the one to fix things. And now you're just walking away? His words cut deeper than I care to admit. The guilt threatens to rise in me again, but I push it down. I've lived my life putting everyone else's needs first, and what do I have to show for it? An empty house, a broken relationship with my daughter, and a son who's caught between us, torn in two. I'm not walking away, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. I'm choosing peace. For once, I'm choosing me. I don't know if I can handle this, Mom. Robert's voice trembles with something more than just frustration now. You're hurting us both. You're hurting me. His words twist something inside of me. I want to reach out, to reassure him, to make it all better, but I can't. Not this time. Not at the expense of my own well-being. I'm sorry you feel that way, I say, my voice thick with emotion. But this is something I have to do. I'm not the villain here, Robert. I've been the victim for too long, and I'm done being that. I hear Robert's breath hitch on the other end. I can't believe you're doing this. I don't know when I'll speak to you again, Mom. The words hang there, heavy, final. The line goes dead, and I'm left in the silence. It's different from before, sharper now, colder. The phone slips from my hand and lands softly on the couch beside me. I sit there, stunned, trying to process the weight of what just happened. Robert, my own son, just threatened to walk away from me. For Emily, for the daughter who has taken and never once stopped to look back. The damage is done, I know. The rift between us has grown wider, deeper, but I can't undo it. I can't go back. This is the choice I've made, and I won't apologize for it. But deep down, I wonder, will he really leave me? The moment I walk into the lawyer's office, it hits me. This is no longer just an eviction. It's a battle for my sanity. I sit across from the lawyer, my hands shaking as I clutch my purse. I never imagined it would come to this, but here I am, facing the reality of what it takes to finally take control of my life. The office smells faintly of paper and coffee. The atmosphere is sterile, the air thick with the weight of what's to come. My lawyer is already pulling out the forms, his expression professional, detached. I can barely focus on his words as he explains the legal process. All I hear is the finality of it all. The process will take time, he says, and Emily will likely fight you every step of the way. Be prepared for a long battle. I nod, my throat tight. I'm prepared. I've been preparing for this for years, though I never thought it would come to this. But now, the papers are in front of me, and it's official. I can't take it back. I watch him as he fills out the forms, but my mind keeps drifting back to Emily's refusal to leave, the threats she's made, the manipulation, the lies. This isn't about rent anymore. It's about everything she's taken from me, everything I've been too afraid to say until now. Finally, the papers are ready. My lawyer pushes them across the table. Once we file these, he says, you're committed to the legal process. There's no turning back. I take the pen and sign without hesitation. The weight of the decision settles in my chest like a stone. I feel the pressure, the guilt, but also a strange sense of relief. This is the only choice I have left. As the lawyer gathers his things, my phone buzzes. I don't need to look at the screen to know who it is. Robert. Mom, are you sure about this? His voice sounds thick with guilt. This is going to tear the family apart. I sit back in the chair, trying to breathe through the rising tension. I've made my decision, Robert. Emily won't leave on her own, and I can't keep letting her manipulate me. I have to do this. There's a long silence on the other end, the words hanging there between us. But you're giving up on her, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. I can't believe you're doing this. I'm not giving up on her, I reply, my voice steadier than I feel. I'm finally standing up for myself. I can't keep sacrificing my peace just to keep the peace with her. I can hear him breathing on the other end, a soft hitch in his breath. You're hurting us both, Mom. The words sting, cutting deeper than I want to admit. But I can't back down now, not after everything. I'm sorry you feel that way, I say quietly, but I have to do this. For me. There's a long pause before Robert speaks again. I don't know when I'll speak to you again, Mom. His voice cracks, and I can hear the finality in his words. This is too much. The line goes dead, and the silence that follows is suffocating. I sit there, staring at the phone, the words hanging in the air. Robert, my own son, just threatened to walk away from me. The phone slips from my hand and lands softly on the desk beside me. I sit back in the chair, letting the weight of it all settle over me. The battle is no longer just with Emily, it's with myself. The decision has been made. But deep down, a nagging question remains. Will Robert really leave me too? The legal battle is just beginning, and I'm not sure if I can handle losing him as well. The next morning, as the sun streams through the kitchen window, I find it again. A letter, neatly placed on the doorstep. At first, I don't want to touch it. I already know who it's from. Emily. The one person I've been trying to distance myself from, yet here she is again, trying to pull me back in. I stand frozen for a moment, staring at it, my chest tight. I can feel my resolve cracking, the familiar pang of guilt gnawing at me. I've spent so many years trying to fix things, trying to mend our broken relationship, but I can't keep going back. Not now. Not after everything. With a sigh, I kneel down and pick up the letter, feeling the weight of it in my hand. It's different from the others, softer, more vulnerable, more personal. I open it slowly, my fingers trembling slightly as I pull out the folded paper. The handwriting is messy, rushed, but it's Emily's, her unmistakable scrawl. The words start innocently enough. She apologizes for everything, her mistakes, the way she's treated me, the pain she's caused. She reminds me of all the good times we've shared, the years of laughter and love, the mother-daughter bond we once had. The words seem genuine, almost convincing. She talks about how much she's been struggling, about how alone she feels, and how much she regrets pushing me away. It feels almost real. I can hear her voice in the letter, her pleading tone, and for a moment I'm back to those days when I would believe every word she said. The guilt floods in again. She wants me to forgive her. She wants to be able to fix things. I can see the desperation in her writing, feel it in every word. She's at her breaking point, and she's asking me to soften my stance. But deep down, I know. This isn't real. This is just another manipulation, another attempt to pull me back into the same toxic cycle. Her words are too convincing, too rehearsed. This isn't the first time she's apologized, and I can't keep falling for it. The phone rings just as I'm folding the letter. I glance at the caller ID, Robert. Mom? His voice cracks when I pick up. I just spoke to Emily. She's at her breaking point. She's begging for your forgiveness. She's sorry. She wants to make things right. Please, can't you just soften your stance a little? His words hang heavy, tugging at something deep inside me. Can I forgive her? My mind spins, the weight of the decision pressing down on me. I close my eyes and lean against the counter, trying to steady myself. I know how hard this is for Robert, too. He's stuck between the two of us, torn between his loyalty to his sister and his concern for me. I can hear the pain in his voice. He wants me to let go of the anger, to stop the fight and open the door again for Emily. But can I really do that? I think of all the times I've forgiven her, all the chances I've given her, only to watch her manipulate me again and again. The damage has been done, and it's clear now. It's not just about forgiveness, it's about respect. I can't, Robert. I finally say, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. This isn't just about forgiving her, it's about making sure she understands that I won't let her walk all over me anymore. I hear him sigh on the other end, and the silence stretches long. I don't know what to say, Mom. I don't know. The conversation ends, and I sit there, staring at the letter in my hands. I feel the weight of everything, the years of hurt, of letting her manipulate me. I can't let her back in. Not this time. I stand up, walk over to the trash can, and without a second thought, I tear the letter in half, then in half again. The pieces flutter to the floor. A strange sense of finality washes over me as I watch the torn paper. It's over. There's no going back now. But as I turn away, the doorbell rings. My heart skips a beat. I walk to the door, dreading what I'll find on the other side. I open the door, and there she is. Emily, standing in front of me, her eyes wide with desperation. "I'll do whatever it takes, Mom," she says, her voice low and pleading. "I can change. Just give me one more chance." And in that moment I realize, this fight isn't over. Not by a long shot. The doorbell rings and my heart skips a beat. I've just managed to catch my breath after the intense conversation with Robert, but now I'm faced with another challenge. I know who it is before I even reach the door. Emily. When I open the door, she's standing there, her eyes red and swollen from crying, her shoulders slumped in defeat. She doesn't say anything at first, just stands there, as if waiting for me to say something. I feel a lump form in my throat, but I push it down. I can't let her manipulate me again. "Mom?" she says, her voice shaky, pleading. "Please, don't shut me out." Her words hit harder than I want to admit. It's the same plea she's used before, the same desperate tone that has worked on me time and time again. But not this time. Not anymore. I stand firm, my gaze steady, refusing to let her in. "I'm not shutting you out, Emily, but I can't keep doing this. I've done enough for you. Now it's time for you to stand on your own." Her face crumples at my words, the hurt evident in her expression. "But I'm your daughter," she says, her voice cracking. "How can you just let me go like this?" I can feel the guilt beginning to stir, but I push it aside. I've been there for her countless times, giving her chance after chance, only for her to disappoint me again and again. It's not about abandoning her, it's about forcing her to face the consequences of her actions. "You've had every opportunity, Emily," I say, my voice steady. "I've tried everything. I've tried to fix things, but you can't keep coming to me every time you need something and then shutting me out when it's not convenient for you." She takes a step back, her hands trembling, as if she's trying to process what I'm saying. Her eyes shift, flickering with something between guilt and frustration. "I'm sorry, Mom. I know I've made mistakes, but I want to change. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to fix this." The words are familiar. They sound sincere even. I want to believe her, but I've heard them before, too many times to count. Each time I believed she meant it, and each time she let me down. "This isn't just about forgiveness, Emily," I say, my voice soft but firm. "It's about respect, and you've never respected me. You've taken advantage of my love, my willingness to forgive, and you've used it against me." I see the shift in her eyes narrowing, her jaw clenching. "So, that's it?" she asks, her voice rising. "You're just going to give up on me? You're going to leave me out in the cold?" I shake my head, my heart aching. But I know this is what I have to do. "I'm not giving up on you, Emily, but I can't keep enabling you. You need to take responsibility for your actions. I've been the one carrying this weight, and I can't do it anymore." The silence between us stretches, thick and heavy. She stands there, staring at me as if she's searching for something, some way to change my mind. But I don't falter. I can't. Finally, she opens her mouth, but before she can speak, I hold up my hand. "It's over, Emily. I've given you everything I have, and I can't keep doing this." Her face falls, the anger in her expression melting into something softer, something closer to resignation. She doesn't say anything more, just turns away, her shoulders sagging as she walks down the steps. I watch her go, the weight of my decision settling in my chest. As the door closes behind me, I feel the tension lift, but it's quickly replaced with an aching emptiness. For a moment, I question myself. Did I do the right thing? I turn around and walk back into the living room, my thoughts racing. Then, as if on cue, the phone rings. I glance at the caller ID and my heart drops. It's Emily. I hesitate for a moment, then answer. "Mom." Her voice cracks, softer now. "Please, just one more chance. I'm begging you. Please forgive me." Her words are raw, pleading, and for a moment I almost want to give in. But I can't. Not this time. "I'm sorry, Emily," I say, my voice thick. "But I can't." There's a long pause on the other end, and then quietly, she says, "You'll regret this, Mom." The line goes dead. I stand there, my heart racing, wondering, will I? The house feels quieter than ever, the air thick with an unspoken tension. The decision I made weighs on me with every passing minute, the aftermath of it settling into my bones. Emily's gone, but the fallout is just beginning. I'm standing in the kitchen, staring out the window, my thoughts a whirlwind of doubt and guilt, when the phone rings. I don't have to check the caller ID to know it's Robert. The weight of his disappointment is palpable even before I pick up. "Mom." His voice comes through, sharp and strained. "I don't even know where to begin. I can't believe you did this. You've destroyed the family." His words hit like a slap, but I don't let them break me. No, this time. I take a breath, trying to steady myself. "Robert, I didn't destroy anything. I'm trying to save myself. I've been carrying this burden for so long and I can't do it anymore." "You think this is about you?" Robert shoots back, his voice thick with frustration. "Emily is falling apart and you're pushing her further down. You're pushing me away too." I feel a sharp pang in my chest at his words, but I can't let him see how much they hurt. "I'm not pushing you away, Robert. I'm protecting myself. I've given her chance after chance and she's never changed. I'm done being the one who picks up the pieces every time she falls apart." "I get that you're hurt," Robert continues, his voice tight with emotion. "But you've just made everything worse. You've broken us apart. I don't know if I can ever forgive you for this." I swallow hard, the guilt rising again. Am I wrong? Did I destroy everything? "I didn't want to make this choice," I say quietly, the weight of my own words hanging in the air. "But I had no other choice. I can't keep letting her use me. I've done enough." Robert's silence stretches on, his breathing steady but heavy. I can hear the hurt in the quiet. "I don't understand you, Mom. I really don't. And I don't know if I ever will. I close my eyes for a moment, willing the tears to stay away. This is what it takes to have peace. This is what I need. Robert, I say, my voice calm but firm. I'm not asking you to understand. I'm asking you to respect my decision. This isn't about Emily anymore. This is about me. There's a long pause, and I can feel the rift growing between us, deepening with every word that goes unsaid. Finally, I hear him exhale sharply. I can't, Mom. I just can't. His voice cracks. I don't know when I'll speak to you again. With those words, the line goes dead. I stand there, staring at the phone, my heart pounding in my chest. The silence in the house feels like a storm waiting to break, but I'm not sure I can handle it. I set the phone down slowly, a cold emptiness spreading through me. Robert, my son. He's angry, disappointed, and I don't know if I can ever fix this. I walk back into the living room, the weight of my decision pressing on me more than ever. I thought that once I made this choice, it would be easier. But it isn't. The consequences of my actions are just beginning to sink in, and I'm not sure I'm ready for the fallout. I sit down on the couch, my hands resting in my lap, my mind a whirlwind of uncertainty. Emily is gone, but the cost of this, losing Robert too, it feels unbearable. I thought that standing up for myself would bring peace, but all I feel now is loss. Just as I sit there, lost in the quiet, the doorbell rings again. My heart stops. I stand up, my legs unsteady, my mind racing. I don't want to face anyone right now. I don't want to deal with more conflict, more hurt. But as I open the door, I'm not prepared for what I see. Emily is standing there, her face set in determination, her posture rigid. She's not crying anymore. There's something in her eyes, a resolve I've never seen before. I'm not giving up on you, Mom, she says, her voice low, steady. And I'm not leaving until you hear me out. You may think you've won, but this isn't over. The words hit me like a punch, and I realize with a sickening clarity, this battle is far from over. The door is still open, but I don't know how much longer I can keep it that way. The house feels quieter than I expected. The absence of Emily is palpable, a silence that settles heavily in every room. The weight of my decision presses down on me, but it doesn't feel like relief, at least not yet. There's an emptiness that fills the space she used to occupy. The house is too still. I'm sitting in the living room, staring at the window, my coffee cooling beside me. The routine is comforting, but I can't shake the nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach. The cost of my decision lingers, and for a moment I question if I've done the right thing. Was it the right choice to cut her out of my life? I've spent so many years trying to fix things, trying to mend what's broken between us. But in the end, I had to choose my own peace. The phone rings, breaking the stillness. I don't even need to check the caller ID to know it's Robert. His voice, when he picks up, is strained. Mom, I don't know what to say anymore. I can't believe you did this. I close my eyes, bracing myself for the pain that comes with his words. Robert, I didn't want to make this choice, but I had no other option. I can't keep letting Emily manipulate me. I get that you're hurt, he says, his voice thick with emotion. But you've just torn us apart. You've destroyed the family, and I don't know if I can ever forgive you for this. The weight of his words is like a punch to the chest. I sit back, trying to steady myself. The guilt rises, but I push it down. I've done enough, Robert. I've given her every chance, but I can't keep carrying this burden. The silence on the other end is deafening. I can feel the rift widening between us with every second that passes. I don't understand, he finally says, his voice quieter now. I really don't. And I don't know if I ever will. I'm not asking you to understand, I reply, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. I'm asking you to respect my decision. This is about me now, not Emily. I hear him exhale, a sound filled with frustration and hurt. I can't do that, Mom. I don't know when I'll speak to you again. The words sting, but I can't let them break me. The line goes dead. I sit there in the quiet, the phone still in my hand, my heart pounding in my chest. The distance between Robert and me feels vast now, and I'm not sure how to bridge it. The guilt lingers, but so does the sense of finality. I walk into the kitchen, my thoughts spinning. Emily is gone, but the cost is still too high. Robert's anger, his hurt, it's like a shadow hanging over me. I've made my choice, but it feels like I've lost something in the process. Just as I set the coffee cup down, the doorbell rings. I freeze. It can't be her again. I walk slowly to the door, dreading what's on the other side. But when I open it, it's not Emily standing there. Instead, it's the empty space where she should be. I don't know what I expected. Her to be back, to fight for me, to keep pulling me back into the cycle of manipulation. But nothing happens. The door is still open, and I'm left with the silence. I close the door softly behind me, a sense of finality settling in. Then, my phone buzzes. It's Emily. I stare at the screen for a moment before I answer. "Mom," she says, her voice raw. "I need you. I'm sorry. I can't do this without you." I close my eyes, feeling the weight of her words sink into my chest. She wants me back, but I can't go back. "I'm sorry, Emily," I say, the words coming out slowly, but with certainty. "But I can't help you anymore." The silence between us is heavy, and then her words crack through the stillness. "You'll regret this, Mom." The line goes dead, and I stand there for a moment, staring at the phone in my hand. I wonder, will I? But I know that I've made the right choice. This time, I'm putting myself first. The house is quieter now. It feels different. Home again. There's a stillness that's settled into every corner of the rooms, and for the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe without that weight pressing down on me. The tension, the constant wondering if today would be the day Emily pushed me past the edge, it's gone. For better or worse, there's a peace here that I haven't known for a long time. The silence is no longer oppressive. I walk through the rooms, lingering on the simple comfort of being alone, of having space to think, to feel, to live without constantly measuring my words, my actions, afraid of how Emily might twist them. In the kitchen, I stand by the window, the light streaming in, soft and warm. It feels like the sun is finally making its way back into my life. I've learned to cherish moments like this, moments of solitude, of peace. Emily's absence is strange, but there's a quiet strength in knowing it was necessary for my growth. I've stopped second-guessing myself. The guilt still rises occasionally, like a wave threatening to pull me under, but I've learned to swim through it, to let the feelings come and go without letting them take control. It's a practice I never thought I'd have to learn, but here I am, stronger than I was before. I think about Robert. There was a time when I thought I might lose him too, but we've found common ground again. Our relationship isn't perfect, but it's real. We've started to communicate, to hear each other, in a way we haven't done in years. I can't erase the hurt, but I can build something new. We're both learning to navigate this new chapter of our lives. There's still work to do, but I feel more confident now. The lesson I've learned is simple, though hard one. I need to respect myself before I can ask anyone else to respect me. And I've built that respect, step by step, brick by brick. It's not a perfect foundation, but it's strong. The world feels different now, as if I've stepped out of the shadows and into the light. I'm not sure what the future holds, but for the first time in a long while, I feel ready for whatever comes next. There's a freedom in knowing that I can face it on my own terms without the weight of someone else's expectations or manipulation holding me back. As I sit in the living room, I run my hands over the couch, my fingers tracing the fabric as I look around. The room feels like mine again. I made this space. I built it with my choices, my strength. This chapter is mine, my terms, my future. I let the moment sink in, and just as I'm starting to feel truly free, the phone rings. I glance at the caller ID, and for a moment, my heart stops. It's Emily. I don't even have to say anything. The fact that she's calling tells me everything. She's not done. She hasn't given up. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. I've come this far. I can't let her pull me back into the same cycle of manipulation. I don't know what she wants this time, but I know it's the last attempt to get me to cave. I hesitate for a moment, the weight of the decision pressing down on me. Do I answer? Do I let her back in just for a moment? I exhale slowly, letting the moment stretch out before I pick up the phone. "Mom," Emily's voice comes through, soft but urgent. "I know you don't want to hear this, but I need you to listen. I can't do this alone." I don't speak, letting her words hang in the air between us, and I know in that instant that everything I've worked for, everything I've fought for, is about to be tested. The future, uncertain and fragile, lies ahead, and I don't know if I'll be able to hold on to this peace if I let her back in. The house is quieter now, the hum of everyday life filling the space where chaos used to reign. Emily's absence is still there, lurking in the back of my mind, but it no longer holds the power it once did. The quiet that has settled over the house is a different kind of silence, one that feels earned, not forced. Robert and I have found a new rhythm. Our relationship isn't perfect, but it's stronger now. We've stopped walking on eggshells around each other, stopped pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. We've started to talk, to really talk. It hasn't been easy, and the road isn't clear, but there's a respect now that wasn't there before. A respect I've always longed for, but never quite knew how to ask for. Now, it's there between us, and it feels like a new beginning. I sit in the living room, watching the sunlight spill across the floor. There's something about the way it filters through the window, soft and steady, that calms me. It's almost like the world is finally aligning in a way that makes sense, like the universe is giving me a sign that this is where I'm meant to be. I've spent so much of my life looking for approval, trying to fix things, trying to make people happy. But now, for the first time, I'm living for me. I've learned to value myself, to set boundaries, to say no when I need to walk away when the cost is too high. It hasn't been easy. Nothing ever is. But with every step I take, the weight that used to hang around my neck grows lighter. I can breathe now. I can finally breathe. But Emily's absence still tugs at my heart, even now. There are moments, small, fleeting moments, when I wonder if I've made the right choice, if I've done enough. The guilt is a persistent shadow, lingering just out of reach, but I've learned to live with it. The truth is, peace doesn't come easily. It never has. But I've fought for it. Fought with everything I have, and now that I have it, I know it's worth every battle. I've made mistakes. We all have. But the biggest mistake of all would have been to keep sacrificing myself, to let someone else's needs and wants dictate my life. Emily's absence isn't easy, but it was necessary. Necessary for my peace, necessary for my growth. As I sit back, I reflect on the journey. The road hasn't been smooth, but I've come a long way. And though the future is uncertain, for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm finally walking towards something that's truly mine. A future where I'm no longer bound by the past, no longer held hostage by someone else's choices. The doorbell rings, breaking my thoughts. My heart skips, an old instinct kicking in before I even reach the door. I hesitate, unsure if I'm ready for this. But as I open it, I find nothing but the empty space on the doorstep. For a moment, I just stand there, confused. Was I expecting someone? I glance down at the ground, half expecting to find a letter, a note, some last-ditch attempt to pull me back into the chaos. But there's nothing. I close the door and turn back to the living room, my heart still racing. I don't know why I'm so unsettled, but something tells me this isn't over. The peace I've fought for is mine to keep, but there's still that lingering feeling that someone might try to take it from me again. I sit down, staring at the phone, waiting for something to happen, for Emily's voice, or for Robert's. But the room is quiet. For now, I have what I've worked for. The peace is mine. And yet, in the quiet, I can't shake the feeling that the story isn't finished. The next chapter, whatever it is, hasn't come yet. And until it does, I will guard the peace I've built, with everything I have. The quiet of the house feels different now, the stillness no longer oppressive, but comforting. It's as if I've finally learned how to live in the space I've created, not just endure it. I stand by the window, watching the soft morning light flood the living room, casting everything in a golden glow. It's a new day, a new beginning, and I feel it deep in my bones. I've let go of the past. anger weighed down by Emily's presence or the chaos that used to follow her. For so long I clung to the hope that I could fix things, that if I just gave enough of myself, it would be enough. But now I realized that the only thing I needed to fix was me. I've learned the hard way that peace doesn't come without sacrifice, but what I've gained is far more valuable. I walk through the house, taking in every room, every corner. The walls, once filled with tension and uncertainty, now feel like a sanctuary. There's a stillness in the air that brings clarity to my thoughts. I've built something new. This space is mine, a reflection of my strength, of my ability to stand firm when everything else threatened to fall apart. The weight of Emily's absence still lingers, but it's no longer a burden. It's a reminder of the decision I made, the one that led me here. I've had to let go, to release the hold she had on me. I've stopped second-guessing myself, stopped questioning if I did the right thing. Peace is worth the cost. I've earned it. Robert and I are still on our journey of healing, our relationship evolving with every conversation, every moment we share. We're rebuilding step by step, but this time it feels different. The foundation we're building now is stronger, built on honesty and mutual respect. It's not perfect, but it's real, and that's enough. I sit at the kitchen table, my coffee cup in hand, the steam rising in the quiet morning air. I'm stronger than I was before. I've learned the value of boundaries, of protecting myself, and of no longer letting my past dictate my future. It's empowering. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm in control. The house no longer feels like just a place I live in. It's a sanctuary, a space that I've carved out for myself, a place where I can breathe, where I can be at peace. I've learned that the home we create isn't just about the walls or the furniture, but about the energy we put into it. And for the first time, this house is filled with my energy, my choices, my peace. As I sit there, I think about the road ahead. It's still uncertain, but for the first time in years, I feel ready for it. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not bound by anyone else's expectations or demands. I'm free to choose my path, free to define my future. It's exhilarating, the weight of it all lifting off my shoulders. The future is mine to shape. I get up, walk to the door, and open it, stepping outside into the fresh air. I stand there for a moment, feeling the sun on my face, the breeze in my hair. This is the beginning of something new, a new chapter, one where I am in control. The future stretches out before me, full of possibilities, no longer controlled by others, no longer held back by fear or guilt. I feel free for the first time in my life. The road ahead is uncertain, but I know now that I have everything I need to walk it. I close the door behind me, feeling the finality of the decision I've made. The peace I've worked so hard for is mine to keep. This is my legacy. But as I turn away, the phone rings. It's Emily. And I know, with a sinking feeling, that this isn't over yet.